you guys have to remember, I haven't told this story in forever because there's never a reason for it to come up, but it was draft night when the Jags drafted Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey, yeah.
And I got a bottle of Jack Daniel's honey, and I drank the entire 750 before the Jags draft pick. And I fell asleep on the back porch in that old, nasty, mildewed sofa that we let sit out there. And I had an exam at 8 a.m. the next day, and I had the shits so bad. So I had an exam. It wasn't a final because it was April, but it may have been. But it was a big test anyway, violently hungover. So I go to breakfast and my professor is in line and he's like talking to me and I'm like, I'm about to pass out, bro. I'm so hungover. And he's talking to me, Schulte's there, other teachers, whatever students, and I sneeze. And dude, I shit myself. Like I sneezed and farted so loud and like they heard, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, dude, I felt like heat running down my legs. Dude, so I didn't tell anyone, obviously. I was like, oh, I gotta. So I'm waddling to the bathroom and what is it called? Mikasa, Porkasa?
Tsukasa.
What is it?
It's Mikasa.
Mikasa. And I go into the bathroom, bro, and I had actually shit. And
Damn.
I was wearing like my Ferrari spandex that I loved.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I called, I forgot who I called, and I was like, dude, I'm in the cafeteria bathroom and I shit my pants. And I need shorts. I need shorts because it seeped through my underwear and I need underwear. And so I'm pretty sure Josh was like, dude, I got you. Like, I'll run and go get it. Josh brings me underwear that I'm pretty sure he's had since middle school. And they have a hole in the crotch and the butt. And then the gym shorts he bought me like didn't fit. And I like was wearing that. And I just threw my shorts and my underwear in the bathroom stall. And like, it was repulsive, bro. I shit myself in front of my professor through a sneeze.
Welcome to Three Dads in a Pod, where three friends who are so good at being dads decided to make a podcast about it. Please be advised, by listening, you may need to remind yourself not to hate them for being this awesome. Now grab a drink, pull up a chair, and don't listen to anything they say because they're idiots. Here's your hosts, Will, Wes, and Colin.
All right, guys. In this episode, we're kicking off a new segment called Products of the Pod, where we introduce different products that the three dads have been using to successfully raise, parent, manage, and deal with all the challenges, obstacles, and situations that us dads have to deal with. And so, Will, you got a pretty badass product that you want to show us. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to you.
So these are affordable. They're about $5 each. And
Dude, Callie loves those, doesn't she?
one of these, dude, your kid will sleep for 2 days.
I was not expecting that.
No, but seriously, my product of the pod is a Brewmate sippy cup. I think it probably has a better name than that, but pretty much it's a Brewmate or a Stanley, but it has an unlock and lock feature so that if your kid's running around with milk or juice and you don't want it all over the couch or all over the floor, they can hold it upside down and it doesn't leak, or they can, unlock it and drink out of it. So I would say this has been a clutch product for us because Callie used to, out of her sippy cups or whatever, spill it all over the couch or spill it on the dog or spill it on herself. And so when she's just wanting to hold it or play with it and she's not drinking, we have it locked. But when she is, we unlock it and it's a normal, sippy cup,
Love it.
How do you lock and unlock it?
Simple.
Nice. Does Callie know how to do that yet?
We've been trying to show her like, hey, you got to keep it locked, but she doesn't do it because it does take a little bit of resistance because they want to keep it like when you want it unlocked or locked.
Yeah.
But once you get it, it's super simple. But
Yeah, that's pretty
For
sick.
Listeners, Callie is how old, Will?
Callie is gonna be 16 months on the 4th.
And how long have you been using
Hey.
that?
Probably since she was a year old or right before.
Okay.
So it was just literally like Aaron, because Aaron had a cup like that, like for a full blown woman size, and Callie was just spilling things, getting used to like drinking out of straws and cups and different things around the house, and she was spilling it. And Aaron was like, I wonder if they have kid ones, and Brewmate did. So, and she may have even seen it somewhere actually, that it was like a mom product or something on someone she follows. But we have 4 of them now, because sometimes you don't clean them when you should, or one has milk, one has water, one has juice. You know, you kind of keep them rotated. So
What does that retail for?
I think it's $30. But Aaron,
The brand is called Brewmate.
yeah, Brewmate.
And what's the like product called? Brewmate Cup.
It's the Brewmate Leap 12 ounce.
Brewmate
And-
Leaf 12 ounce.
Yes, and it is top rack dishwasher safe and
Ew.
super easy to clean. I hand wash them because I'm a psycho. One time I had it was either like a cup similar to this, Stanley or something, and I never cleaned like inside the straw well area, and like I would always dishwash it. And I saw it one day, and I really went in there, and I was like, that is repulsive. So I hand wash it because, dude, you can buy like, do you guys have the straw cleaners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love doing that. So
Yeah.
I'll hand wash. If there's a crap ton of dishes, I'll throw the 2 bases in the dishwasher, but I'll hand wash like this section. But
There's a sleeve.
Yep.
There's a sleeve too. You said you can pull something off, or what?
yeah, man, it's gotta
That thing's on there.
And what's that for?
Insulation.
Keep it cold.
Yeah,
Or hot.
or hot.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of one of
Case
the
your baby-
things that you don't need all the time, but
In case your baby's into drinking tea.
yeah, you should always cover it up sometimes. You know.
Hot chocolate. Love
All
it.
right. And we can we'll post we can post links to these products in the show notes too. So in case any parents listening out there want to go find them, they can go ahead and do that.
Honestly, never heard of that
Yeah,
before.
I'll show you, and I can also show you videos of Callie just being a queen with it. You know.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick though. I mean, honestly, like the whole spilling drinks thing is actually legit. Like even if drinks seem to be spill proof, like they're not all the time. And Eden has many times just gone over, sat on the couch with a sippy cup and just turns upside down and shakes it, and she spills milk on the couch.
Yeah.
We don't know until she goes, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been really fun.
Intentionally does it and then goes, uh-oh.
Yeah.
No, literally.
And I would say Callie's been getting a little more aggressive with throwing things.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is-
they launched them. They launched the cups.
Dude, this is the first one she's broken in 5 months. It just broke the inside. It's still usable. It's just the straw doesn't sit tight. But this is soft. So
Yeah.
it's durable because it's like a cushion. And this is all hard shell. So, and this is good too. It's not, a hazard if she fell. It's rubber. And you can put it on the cart. We clip it.
Or something.
Yeah, we clip
Oh, that
on-
bends down too, that thing?
What?
Did I see you bend that down?
No, it is
okay.
flexible, but it's not.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, but yeah, we clip it on things. It's super. Yeah, it's a great product.
Durable.
And it's so aesthetic.
Yeah, we've got multiple.
Yo, I know we weren't planning to do this, but because spills came up, this is something that Lee and I debate on. But
Are we breaking into a dad debate right now?
I think we need to
Yeah.
because
Segment. Let's do it.
Dad debate.
I ended up winning this. I don't want to call it an argument, but this like kind of back and forth we had. But I am like so against white furniture with kids for the purpose of spills and accidents and that color fading away or having stains over time. So what is your guys' opinion on that? Because, and the listeners, if you own white furniture, do you regret it? Have you had to hire a company or use like a protection plan service or something? Or did you buy that ahead of time when you bought furniture knowing that there were going to be stains? Because we ended up going down the path of getting a leather sectional. There was a dark gray color. It's comfy, it's great, but we did it because I was like, I do not want stains. I know things are going to spill. I know there's going to be like dirty shoes, food. Like, I just don't want to have to deal with that and worry about that. So what is your guys' thoughts on that?
Will, do you want to go ahead?
Sure, I'll go ahead because I'm looking at a white couch in front of me that I own. I was with US. I did not want it, but Aaron really did.
So you lost your debate.
I mean, I'm married to Aaron, so there's a lot of debates that I walk away defeated.
I'm just kidding.
No, but so we ended up settling on more of like a creamy white, if that makes sense. Not as vibrant white, so that with that wear and tear or whatever, that you wouldn't really notice as much. But this, honestly, this dad debate, you're 100% accurate, everything you said. I told Aaron, we're going to invest this much money into a white couch. We need to be on top of the maintenance if like spills or whatever happens. So Aaron did a lot of research. This, I'm doubling down. Double dad product. The Green Machine by Bissell. Have you guys ever heard of it?
No, but I'm interested.
It's like a shop vac, but tiny, like a foot long.
Like a
right? Handheld. You put this cleaning solution inside, and it's a vacuum, and you have a trigger, and so you can wet that specific spot, and then it vacuums and brushes. So it puts the cleaning solution in to lift it while you're scrubbing, and then you vacuum it. And Aaron has spilled red wine on this white couch, and we immediately green machine it. No red wine into a cloth white couch.
So it's just a handheld
mini vacuum.
Mini vac. Yeah.
Yeah, like what are those vacuums that people sold? The same
I know
kind
what you're talking about.
technique that Cutco Knives uses. My gosh, I forget what they are, but they're like the deep cleaning vacuums. It's just a handheld version of that.
Yeah. It's super clutch. We use it on carpets. Like when the dogs used to go upstairs, if they pee on the rug, get downstairs, we green machine that thing, and you can never smell it because it's putting the liquid farther down. What?
How much was it?
That one was more. That was more expensive. I want to say it was $100.
Oh, that's not
bad at all.
No. And it's super. You refill it, and it's super easy to clean because it's like a vacuum, and you can remove all the canisters and just wash them out. If it's like really gross, like if we did, had a lot of hair, or like depending on what you're cleaning, you can clean it outside, and then like you can put bleach in it and shake it up, and it's completely fine. But it's
well. Now that you said that, the next furniture we get is 100% going to be white now. Kid's going to listen to this, and she's going to be like, see? On Aaron, they have that thing, and I'm going to be like, all right.
well.
I still think it kind of depends though, because so we have a off whitish, more close to a gray couch, and I always gravitate towards neutrals. Like I want my house. This is the debate for me is like, I want my house to be basically white, gray, black, and brown. And then you can throw in a couple of colors, probably green.
Like
that's about it.
Photos and rugs and stuff like that.
And like, that's it. Like, I just want just neutral colors, minimalist vibe. That's all I want. And Kelsey's not that way at all. But so I like, all things considered, like I like a white couch. I think it looks good. But so knowing the kind of products like the Green Machine that you're talking about, Will, like knowing that they're out there, I don't really mind having a white couch for if you get a spill on it, whatever, you can clean it up right away. The thing that I now kind of look back on and regret about getting this couch is our freaking dog.
Yeah.
Dude, if you have a dog that has dark hair and you have a white couch, it's like salt and pepper. It's just
I mean, I don't know how many people notice it like when they come to our house, but me living in this house, seeing the couch every day,
dude, I can't not see it, man.
Dude, I just come in, I look at the couch, and I'm just like, Ellie's dirty, grimy ass. I just see her imprints on it all the time, and it drives me insane. And I don't know how we could have unless we just prevented her from being on the couch, but like, I don't know. There's like for me, it's the dog that I'm like, I would always second guess getting a white or close to white couch if I have a dog that I plan on letting on that couch. Cause I don't know that a Green Machine is going to fix that.
This is giving you good insight into my marriage with Aaron, because I was with Wes on Not the White Couch. When Aaron wants something, she will find a way to address your concerns and get what she wants. With the dog hair, that was me. I was like cleaning the couch all the time, vacuuming it, took forever. There's a third dad product.
I knew he was going with another product. He's like, so we have one hand scrubs it, and then in the other hand it vacuums it right before.
No, this one is actually $20. This is $20.
But Colin, if you had a golden retriever or like a light furred colored dog, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think it also depends on the material of the couch too. I think that's a big factor.
Yeah.
So
If it's like a leather, I don't think it matters.
This is like little coils, and I can take this to the nastiest, hairiest spot on the couch and wipe it twice, and there's zero hair on the couch.
Go do it right now.
I do this without.
No, just go do it and then bring over the amount of hair that comes out.
Okay.
Let's see how legit this.
But also, I'm not really talking like Ellie doesn't really shed. So I'm primarily talking about just after 2 years of having it, just the compounding dirt that she just rubs into it, you know?
But you could then just take a vacuum, I guess, to the whole thing. But that's
Yeah.
it's annoying then.
I mean, we haven't had it deep cleaned yet, so maybe I should just shut my mouth and try to deep clean it. All right, well.
And all you just went over like that.
I went like probably 6 or 7 times on the whole side of the couch.
And you have little dogs, so that's a pretty good amount of hair.
Yeah, but
I think
there's-
that's
this is a
I think that's
handheld
really-
attachment, but I have there's a one that's like a long broomstick that has a bigger head for like the back or the cushions. I'm not kidding. We used to vacuum the couch. It would take 30 minutes. This, I can do the entire couch in probably 10 minutes with these tools. So like we do this before people come over. Cause like what Colin said, like we live here all the time. But then like when I'm literally looking at the couch, I'm like, I mean, dude, this was just one side of the bottom side of my couch. Like, and Aaron did this 5 days ago.
Yeah.
I feel like you just went to the bathroom and pulled out some butt hair.
Dude.
And Stella's hair, black. So that's another reason why I was like, yeah, I do not want to get a white couch because her hair, Colin, to your point, was like, she sheds a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that like little stain mark, Will, on the back? Never mind, that's just my laptop. I feel like we're on like HSN or like QVC.
Yeah.
Yes, QVC, exactly.
That was 3
All right, all right, all right. That's actually pretty legit.
Bro, 3 swipes. And it doesn't.
How much was that thing? Like $10 probably?
Yeah, no, the whole kit. So for a broomstick and this one was $20. But no, so and you can there's different ones you can buy for the material, so you don't rip up your material. So anything
All right,
else?
so what's the name of that?
Go to my-
Can't find it. It's fine.
No.
We'll any product we're recommending here, we'll look up and we'll
in my-
put it in the show notes.
Dude, I'm honestly, it's funny because any things we talk about that are debates, I will have a solution for you guys because I've lost said debate. Any concern I have, Aaron shits on it with the solution.
Okay, so what's the consensus of the debate? We decided that white couches are okay because there's enough cleaning products out there to maintain them.
If you have the tools,
Okay, dad debate part 2. Who's in charge of cleaning the couch? Husband or wife?
I'm the anal one in our house about cleaning, and I have an eye. I can find a freaking pile of hair. Like I see these like issues very easily, so it's me.
Yep. I'm with Wes, and the problem is this is Aaron's line. If it bothers you so much, you could do it.
Just like the dishes, dude. You love cleaning them up.
Because Aaron will go, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind. I'll clean it if people are coming
That was
over.
my
but
tactic.
if it's bothering you, then you can do that. Like
Yeah.
you can do the couch. So
Yeah, there's certain things that I do that I like kind of walked myself into having to do them because I've essentially proven to Leah that I do a better job at it.
yeah.
So like cleaning the floors or vacuuming, I won't leave a room until I know like every single hair that I visibly can see has been picked up by the vacuum. Whereas Leah she's just kind of like doing it and then moves on.
See, me and Kelsey are the opposite.
Wiping the counter, same thing. Like
Oh,
she
I'm
kinda-
a big I'm a big,
she wipes the surface of the counter, whereas I'm like,
you're
"Oh,
feeling
I'm feeling the texture of the counter, and I'm like, oh, I need to go over that harder, or I'll like kind of like get eye level with the counter so I can see like, oh, is there a crumb or something I missed? So then now I'm the person responsible for after she cooks, putting all the counters down. Whenever we need to clean the floors, I'm the one to vacuum the floors. Like before you guys came over for Margot's birthday party.
you mean Colin?
Yeah, well, I was pointing at Colin, but I guess yeah, we invited you, but you couldn't come, so it's fine. But I'm just kidding.
The floors looked immaculate, I must say.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I back.
See, so yeah, Kelsey and I have taken the opposite approach, where we've just viewed it from a efficiency standpoint, and so I've just proven myself to be slower at every single task. So so Kelsey gets it because she just gets it done quicker.
Yeah.
Gives us more time to hang out.
I would say Aaron and I would say I'm more efficient than deep clean unless it's like organized. I don't mind. That's one thing we moved in here is I'm always a very neat person, but I'm not a deep clean person. Like at the townhouse, until we moved, we didn't realize. I thought I cleaned a lot, bro. I was like, wow, this is gross, dude. Like the dusting and different things that you don't. I'm very visually, it's fine.
A rug, dude. If you have a rug in your house and you don't lift it up or like, bro, when we moved, you take the rug from even underneath our bed. You're like, what the heck? Where did all this dirt come from?
Yeah.
Where did all this? Yeah,
It's
dust.
disgusting. But also, like, whenever you have a house, I mean, actually, you don't even have to have a house. It could be this way in an apartment. Like, when you actually pay attention to all the things that you could be cleaning, it's overwhelming.
You could do nothing else but clean your house.
You could, exactly.
Or like any to-dos around your apartment, home. If you sat down and walked through and created a list, you would never get it done.
And without kids, like your sole task was maintain every aspect of the house. You wouldn't have enough time to do it.
Bro, I almost deep cleaned our trash can because the crumbs get stuck in
Because your trash can gets so disgusting.
in the like around. I'm like, dude, this is gross. Am I really gonna spend 30 minutes scrubbing my trash can?
You know what I used to do when before parties at our old house, the one before the one we're living in? I used to walk around the house because we had white walls, like every wall was white.
When you would Mr. Clean it?
I would if there was a little scrape or I would go and touch up
With paint?
Yeah, like with fresh coated paint.
Dude, that's
Because, dude, I can't
That's
like
next
I can't
level.
unsee it. I can't unsee the little blemish in the wall. Like I
thought
see
that
it.
was extreme. That's up
Yeah,
to
that's-
us.
I don't do it now because
How
we're
many
renting.
bodies do you have in your backyard? How many fucking people have you?
It's funny though because I'll do that, but then it's like dishes. I'm like,
yeah, no way.
that could stay there. Too much work.
Dude. No,
That's like in our house. Leah does the dishes like that.
All right, so I mean, Wes, do we even do a dad product? Because
No, I think we're good. I think we nailed 3.
Sorry, guys.
Will did all of them.
So,
Well, I don't even think we have to like every episode that we do a dad product segment. We don't all 3 have to have a product. I think it just depends on.
yeah.
Well, do you have a dad product you want to put out there? I mean, come on, the people are needing to know this information.
I'll save it for the next episode because we did 3 today. So like
Alright.
I got a juicy one for the next episode.
All right.
I'll save
Okay.
it.
All right.
I will back to the little dad debate. I will admit I lost that. You guys, mainly Will, proved that a white couch is doable if you
Cream,
have the right
cream, not
Cream.
fully white. Cream, because
cream beige.
beige, something light, but like white,
Yeah.
bro. Because even this, we have to wash the
Like
cushion.
a bright white is not even really in. Like those cloud couches, like they're
Yeah.
all like a
Yeah,
off white tee.
yeah, we're off white. We're off white fam here. I will say, bro, that's one thing people don't realize that I wish I better understood. Anytime you're moving into a different space or a bigger space, dude, furnishing a home is
so expensive.
bro, it's so expensive if you want it to like look not. It's just so difficult to set it all out. Like you're gonna spend at least a couple grand to do a room. Like if you do it to where like
Yeah.
if you do it to where you want it, like how
Because if you want to coordinate everything,
yeah, it's almost undoable until like you've saved up and have time to like deck out a room. You can't just knock it out. Like we haven't even touched one of the rooms in our house. Like I think I've gone in there like 7 times since we moved here because I don't.
That was
know what
one
to
of
do.
the clutchest things about working in the furniture industry for 8 or 9 years
Yeah.
is how much money I saved on furniture and mattresses. Like, and that I hooked different people up with that took advantage of it.
No, yeah. And it was clutch because you got to meet so many different people day in and day out to choose like your next victim for your serial killings.
Yeah. I ended up finding out that there's some really good cushions where you can shove body parts inside of them. So I would always buy those ones. But yeah.
I didn't know we were talking about our sex life yet.
well, speaking of sex life, what a great segue into the topic of this episode,
Great segue.
which is when we found out that we were going to be dads.
Before we get to the actual moment that we found out, though, I got to ask you guys, did you pre-plan it? Like, were you
Were we trying to get pregnant?
trying to get pregnant? Were you like, was Kelsey or Aaron?
No. So
monitoring
this is
ovulation, any of that? Or was it just like, hey, let's just take the goalie out of the net and see what happens type of thing?
partly that, but it was 90% our dog. Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping you have something more to say to that.
Yeah, elaborate. Was he telling you guys to do it, or what was going on?
Or just saw like
Yeah,
Ellie
dude.
humping something all the time and you just
Turning you guys on. You saw him up in the pillow, and you're like, wait, should we do that?
Can I cut you? Can I cut you off? At J-Dub's graduation on Monday, it's long. It's like 4 hours. And Callie was trying to sit in her seat, but we're like, we'll let her run around the concourse area. She runs up to this random lady, hands up. And we're like, okay, lady seems super nice. Looked like she was a grandma. Not trying to like throw shade that she looked old, but like she looked experienced. And dude, the lady's so sweet. Like, can I pick her up? Picks her up, Callie just snuggles on her, like arms around, holding her tight. She's like, I only have boys. I've always wanted a girl. Like maybe she like felt that energy. We start talking. I was like, where are you guys from? Pennsylvania. I'm like, oh, my best friend's from Pennsylvania. Where are you guys from? Mechanicsburg.
Really?
Dude, I'm like, no way. I'm like, isn't that next to Dillsburg? She's like, yeah. I'm like, my buddy's from Dillsburg. And she's like, what's their names? And I'm like, Chuck Thomas or Colleen Essick. I'm like, do you know? And she's like, no, we hang out with a lot of people from our church. I'm like, oh, I'm like, they went to church up there. So I'm like, if you did go to the same church, you probably would know them. But he went to, and she's like, Northern. And I'm like, yeah, he went to Northern. And she was like, I was like, how do you not? I literally showed her a picture of Chuck. I'm like, please tell me you know Chuck. But
Yeah, if they knew either my parents or it'd be my dad. He's
Yeah.
like definitely in Dillsburg. He's quite popular.
yeah,
But,
no, but it was so funny to me. I meant to text you, like, if she would have known
So
Chuck
funny.
and like them, I would have been like so cool. But
yeah,
Dude, Callie felt that energy.
yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
definitely.
I do think though, bro, that was some higher power stuff going on because Callie just she does not snuggle like that unless she's super tired or not feeling well. And for her there were thousands of people there, and she runs up to this lady, and this lady was like in tears.
Did
because
she
that was
look
you.
like anybody that Callie maybe would have known or thought?
She didn't look
knew?
like she didn't look like any like my mom or Aaron's mom, but like dude, she just snuggled on her chest and just held on to her. It was like a movie. It was so weird, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It was really
I don't know, man. You can't give a concrete explanation for that kind of stuff. But when you mention like it feels like there's some higher power stuff going on. I genuinely think that like your call it journey through time is obviously necessary to take, but I think unfortunately that inevitably I also look at it as it's kind of a journey away from and then back to God. And again,
Yeah.
it's necessary to take that to go away and back to, but I think it starts really, really close to God. And children, babies, just it's like they're fresh from his, like they're just so connected to him, I think. And you just can witness that in so many different ways by the way they just live their life without abandon,
No, it was super strange. But not only was that really sweet, strange in a good way, but she was from Mechanicsburg that I thought was awesome. I was like so hyped when she said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were talking about how your dog influenced you to have a kid.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I said November, Pennsylvania is because when we look back, we think that's when Eden was actually conceived, around that time frame. But what actually happened with Ellie was we went out on a date night. This was in a time period where we were trying to figure out if we could not have her crated. We were trying to kind of give her free reign to run around the house and stuff. But every few months, she would just do something reckless in the house. She'd tear up books. There was 3 separate times where she just made a mess in the whole house. Well, this time we got back from on our date and she had opened up Kelsey's purse and was just destroyed whatever she could find in there. Well, one of the things she pulled out was her birth control, which was it was a full packet. I mean, Kelsey had just started this cycle
Yeah,
of birth
ate it?
control, and she ate all of it, every single pill. I mean, it was at least 3 weeks worth, if not a little bit more. And so the first thing we did was call the vet, and we were like, "Is our dog gonna die?" And the vet's like, "You have nothing to worry about. It doesn't
She
matter."
doesn't have like a period.
There's
for
no
3
side
years.
effects from that.
Yeah, no side effects, nothing.
That's
It
crazy.
doesn't make any sense, bro. You would
Yeah.
think like Ellie would like I don't
Like
know.
start just like growing.
Yeah, like at least throw up, right? Yeah,
No, like start getting mad at you for no reason or like it's just things like that, bro. You
Just
know?
growing like nipples out of every part of
Yes,
her body.
yeah, she gets all
Just growing everywhere.
looks like a hedgehog and nipples.
It's like backward logic. It's like this prevents you from having kids, but for dogs, it actually gives them nipples and makes them.
Ellie has 300
actually makes you
puppies.
pregnant.
Ellie has 300 puppies. Okay.
So yeah, then after that, we were just like, well, we've been talking here and there about when we might want to have a kid. Should we just see what happens? And we were both like, yeah, I mean, why not? Certainly, it probably will take at least a few months. Your boy's potent.
It took one try.
100% success rate.
We didn't even have to have sex. I just looked at her. She got pregnant.
Better like a dog.
Yeah. Why is there so many dog? No, but
So yeah, were you guys trying?
I mean, I guess like Wes said, anytime you're like throwing live rounds down range, I mean, you're gonna hit the target at one point, So I think we kind of similar with the birth control thing. Erin was on birth control from the time she was in middle school, maybe even earlier, because she had really tough periods. And around the wedding time, we were like, hey, are we going to get off? Are we not? Blah, blah, blah. And we were good with having a kid. We both came to the, agreement. We're ready for this if it happens. But then she was talking to her doctor. Her doctor was like, hey, you've been on birth control for more than half your life at this point. If you are going to want one within the next year or so or get pregnant, you should probably get off because your body will have to take time to regulate. So I think she got off birth control a month after the wedding and she was pregnant a month later. It happened immediately.
Which usually isn't the case, right? Isn't there like a long period of time
where like they're not fertile, if that's
yeah, it's like every year is like a month or something like that.
like that. And it was just, it happened very quickly. It did happen on our honeymoon. It's definitely when we conceived the child.
Love
It was,
that.
yeah, it was just the right time,
So talk to us about it. Like, what you guys like? How did you guys do it?
So I was suspended up, I was inverted over the bed. She tied the bath towels around my ankles and hid me, hang me from the curtain rod.
Trapeze, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that position. It's good.
No, but we were in St. Lucia for a honeymoon at a Sandals resort, and free food and drinks and great views and stars aligned. I think we were sitting, our room had like glass sliding door. You could look out over the water. It wasn't supposed to happen, but there was a lunar eclipse, and no, it was just, one thing led to another. I mean, I don't blame her, I looked good that night. I was wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, button down, I think, short sleeve, flip flops, had my dogs out, and one thing led to another. No, but I mean, you ever can pinpoint it to the day. We really think the timeline our OB gave us for like 9 months was -1 or +1 day around that day. So we think,
Yeah. I'm also in the similar boat with you guys. I knew the exact day that we luckily and I can go back to the actual time that we had sex to know like that's when we made Margot.
wow,
Leah had this she still has this app called Flow where it like helps her manage her period cycle.
yeah,
and,
like when she's most
ovulating and all
fertile,
that.
and yeah,
Yeah. And so she uses that all the time. She had also gotten off of birth control because she had issues with her periods and so she had gotten off of it I think probably maybe 5 to 6 months before we like started trying. I think it was a little bit longer of a gap, but I remember she was hanging out with Jesse Bond, and because it was such a like, all right, we know this limited time frame that we have to try to increase our chance of having a kid. So she had her app notify her that she was ovulating, and she literally left Jesse because they were hanging out like it was a girls' night. She said, "Hey, I have to leave." Like, and Jesse knew why she was leaving, and like got home and she's like, "We're having sex right now." So I was just like
yeah,
forced into having sex
yeah.
against my own will. Like,
So
we
you're
joked
like a
about that. She
bona
was
like a glorified.
like, "You're gonna lay
sex
down
slave.
right now. You're gonna take your clothes off, and you're gonna have sex with me right now, whether you like it or not." Like,
Yeah.
we're making this baby.
I dream about those days. Not Leah and you doing that, me personally.
Yeah, no,
I mean, to each their own. I mean, we started a podcast together. I think I'm not going to say that. That was going to be a brutal statement.
just say it, dude.
I mean, like we started. I was just going to say, we started a podcast together. I would assume we'd enjoy watching each other have sex.
I would assume.
But all right, so we both kind of are all of our parties, both parties separately within each other. We've got it honed down. After that, I guess, Wes, since you became or impregnated first.
Wes, since you impregnated first.
Since you impregnated, you threw your seed out into the wilderness first. How did you find out? How did Leah tell you?
I was on a trip with some buddies in Chicago.
Were you on that trip, Colin?
Certainly not.
Yeah. Well, what happened was once you guys didn't come to my bachelor trip, I was like, there's no way they're not going to come to any other trips I invite them to. So, yeah, so I just went with like really good friends of mine.
All right, so you were on some trip with some assholes in Chicago.
Yeah, on a trip in Chicago, and Leah had found out while I was in Chicago. So she was like struggling to keep it in. She said it was like so hard for her not to like tell it because she wanted to tell me first, obviously, before she told anybody else. So she was like counting down the hours till I got home because it was just tough to not want to tell anybody. And so, and it's funny because she picked me up from the airport and she was kind of acting strange. And Leah is very easy to read when she has something on her mind or when she's trying to like keep a secret. You can tell when she's holding something in or when she's not maybe being herself. Like she's just easy to read in that way. Like if we've ever had like a surprise that we were trying to do and somebody questions her about something, it's like she just like clams up and like you're like,
Nope.
yeah, she's just like, no, or like, yeah, she like her face just like doesn't do a good job of keeping it. But so she was acting weird, and she had told me afterwards. She was like, "I was trying not to talk and trying to like prevent you from like asking me like something wrong."
The
like
complete opposite of what you should have done.
yeah, but that was just like what was going on in her head. But I didn't think much of it because it was at night when I had landed, and I was exhausted, and I was just like, whatever. Like I'm just like, just get home and go to bed. And so I got home with her, and she had on our kitchen table like a bunch of like dad stuff, like a little like baby onesie and like a dad books and different things that were all there. Like she made this like big kind of like stage setup of like dad stuff. And I like walked in. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, no way. And she's like, yeah. And she had her phone recording it all too. So yeah, I was like completely caught off guard. Even though we were like trying, you still
You
just
still don't think it's gonna happen. Like,
don't think it's going to happen. And even when you kind of think it is, like, you still just don't even believe that, like, oh my God, this is the next step in my life. Like, I am now officially about to be a dad.
So I was kind of wondering that, because out of the three of us, it seems like you were most trying to get pregnant. So, like, after that night, like while you were away in Chicago, like was that something that was running through your head? Like, were you thinking about when I get home, will I find out if I'm a dad? Like, was that it just kind of was out of your,
not at all. Because to be honest, I was cool if the time frame in which we wanted to start trying, we didn't have a kid. Like Leah was really the one that was wanting to have a kid sooner. Like my ideal, I guess, time frame of when we would have our first kid was initially like later than when we actually did.
Yeah.
But like I was fine with like, all right, let's start trying. Like if this is what you want, and like, yeah, let's do it. Like I can be a dad now. I wasn't like out against it. I just was more so thinking of waiting another year or even two. But she was like, no, I don't want to like, because we had initially talked about having like 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah.
And like now we're like, hey, 2. Like if we can have another boy, like we're good with 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't thinking a lot about, I wonder if she's pregnant. Like I hope we're like, about to, like enter into that next stage.
So you came home and she has everything set up for you. You find out that she's pregnant. You're going to be a dad. So then what was going through your head? If you can even recall that, I don't know.
Yeah, it was just like, all right, like this is it. Like we're doing this thing. Like I got into like thinking about the future immediately. I wasn't like I was excited. Like I was filled with a ton of emotions. I was filled with like excitement, filled with just like overwhelming joy, also filled with like, oh my gosh, like, all right, this is real. This isn't like a thing that you're thinking and hoping for. It's like, all right, now it's like I'm about to be a dad, or everything goes according to plan. Like we're about to be parents. Yeah. And I felt like so blessed that she was pregnant, because we have friends and you hear about a lot of people that aren't able to, they try for years.
Yeah.
And it becomes a really big struggle, and it becomes something that I know people that are in their 40s and have never been able to have a kid.
Yeah.
So I do not take lightly the blessing of being able to have a kid, and specifically have it so easily. Like just, all right, we started trying and then boom, like we got pregnant.
Yeah.
Like I still to this day think about that because when we start trying for a second kid, that may not be the
May not be the case. Yeah.
it may not be the case. Like it could be really hard for us.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee that like, all right, like it's gonna go the same way that it went last time. So yeah.
Yeah. So from that night, Leah kind of revealing things to you. What was like? Who was the first person or people that you told?
I think we told, man, I honestly don't know the order.
I feel like it's impossible because we didn't tell people right away because you want to wait till
Yeah.
you want to
Like,
wait
there
till
was,
you told like
like,
close friends.
My
or-
family from Michigan was definitely the last to find out because we wanted to tell them in person. So we planned a trip down the road. I know we told Leah's mom and her grandmother and aunt were one of the first to know. My parents were one of the first to know, but I don't remember who was first. But it was like within like that a couple of weeks after I had found out that we started like planning like how we wanted to tell people.
Yeah.
And then once we got to that, I think it's what, 13 weeks,
12, 13, yeah.
13 weeks. Then that's when we started telling like friends, like calling, FaceTiming you guys. I still remember like FaceTiming both of you guys.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So crazy because that feels like such a long time ago, but like it's really like, I mean, it's 3 years ago for me.
Yeah.
Really not that long ago.
No, it is crazy, bro.
What about you, Colin? So because you were next, right?
Yep. I think Kelsey would have liked to. Well, I should like. I think things went exactly as they were supposed to go. And Kelsey has mentioned to me before that she would have liked to have kind of this big surprise reveal presentation thing planned out, but it was January 2023. I was at home, just making dinner. Kelsey was at the Balance Culture. She was instructing that night, and then I think how it went was that she had texted me earlier saying, "Hey, I'm going to take a class after I instruct. So do you mind if you just kind of get everything ready for tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." But then I saw her car pulling into the driveway earlier than expected. So I was like, "Oh, I wonder what that's all about." But I didn't think much of it. And then she comes in, and I look over, and she just looks spooked. She opens the door, and I'm just like, "What is up? Are you okay?" And she keeps going. She's like, and I'm like starting to get a little worried. She kept saying, I'm like, "Kelsey, like what's going on? Like, talk to me." And she walks over and she shows me the pregnancy test. She's like, "I think I'm pregnant." And I'm just like, I mean, I just immediately was just like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was the last thing on my mind.
Especially with the like intro to that. You're
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah,
like,
like,
did
something
something
like
happen in
that.
balance culture?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. And I mean, to be honest with you, I don't remember much of what happened immediately after. I mean, similar to you, Wes, you're just kind of overcome with a bunch of different emotions. I think the one thing that sticks out is, for me and Kelsey together, I think it was a really special moment because she was a little bit nervous about how I would react. She wasn't quite sure what my response would be to her being pregnant. So I think for her, for both of us, it was a really nice moment because I got to be there with her, kind of comforting her. And then she also was having this comforting moment of seeing my reaction to finding out that I was going to be a dad. So we got to share this kind of special moment together.
How soon after she found out herself did she end up telling you?
So it was,
Same.
it was that day. I mean, I think I'll have to ask her, but I think it was probably within the hour.
Oh, okay.
oh,
So,
so
it was
she like did it
really-
in balance culture?
Yeah. So I could be a little bit off, but I mean,
like right before the class or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
She was probably just that intuition, like as a woman, she probably felt like
Yeah.
led to do it.
I mean, to be honest with you, it might have, if I'm remembering correctly, it might have even been during the class. Like she went to the bathroom or something, and man, I'm forgetting so much of it now. But but what I do know is that she took an initial pregnancy test because she was just feeling off, and then she got the positive result from just like a Dollar Tree test, and she sent it to who at the time was our medical director on the campus, and her name was Megan, and she responded. She's like, "Girl, you're pregnant." And Kelsey's like, "No way." So then she ran. Okay, I have to be off a little bit. It had to have been at least a few hours in between, because then she ran to the Dollar Tree, I think, and got a bunch more tests and took like 3 or 4 more tests, and then was still like, I need a test that says either pregnant or not pregnant. Like I need to be sure that I'm not just seeing this second line pop up on. So then she went to CVS and got like an expensive test, and so once she was like fully convinced, then she was like, okay, I'm going to tell Colin
she must
now.
have been really hydrated.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so I'm my timeline is probably off somehow. It might have been longer than an hour or so, in between all of this. But ultimately none of that's really that important. So she took like probably 5 tests that day, and came home and told me. But what I do remember personally was, because we'd have been having some conversations about when do we want to have a kid. I don't know if you guys are similar, but I don't think that I ever could have got myself to a place where I felt like I was ready to be a dad. So the conversations about when do we think we want to have a kid were a little bit, I don't know, they meaningless is too harsh of a word, but I didn't know how to differentiate between if we have a
It's
kid
like
in
vague or just vague, like
yeah, because it's like if we have a kid in 3 months or a kid in 4 years, I don't know.
which
None of
is
that
the
seems to
better
make
time, which is like the right
yeah.
time. Yeah.
None of that seems to make a real difference to me, but I do know that I had some fears related to being a dad. But what was really special for me was when she told me, all of those fears were just like, doesn't matter. Like I realized like I'm not ever going to be ready to be a dad, but I don't need to be ready to be a dad. Like I'm like you said, Wes, like I'm blessed with this opportunity to be a dad, and like I just don't need to be ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out. And that's just something I really kind of adopted into parenthood is I mean, I've said this to people before and I feel like they've thought that I was joking, and I'm really not. Like, I just trust myself, and I especially trust Kelsey because Kelsey's such a good freaking mom. But like, I just trust myself to figure things out.
Yeah.
Like the kids, I'm not gonna let my kid die. Like I'm going to figure it out. And Kelsey's going to figure it out. And I was just overcome by that sense when she told me. And so it was just, after a few moments of trying to figure out where my head was at, it was just pure excitement over like, let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad, before Leah and I ended up finding out that we were pregnant. It sounds weird saying we are pregnant, but I guess that's like how like people throw that.
No,
Yeah.
definitely we. It's definitely.
Yeah, it's a we thing. But I remember my dad being like, because there was a lot of pressure from my dad and different people in the family, like just like, hey, when you guys gonna have kids? You want kids? You want grandkids? All that. I would always say, oh, we're not really ready. Oh, we're gonna try this time. My dad would always say, he's like, stop trying to act like you can plan these things that
Yeah.
happen in life.
Yep.
Like God's gonna provide you with a kid when He feels like it's the best time for you guys to be parents. When that time comes, like, you'll be ready for it. To your point, like I was in my head thinking, well, I kind of want to wait another year. And I would tell Leah that I want to wait like another year or so because I want to like travel a little bit more. I want to be able to enjoy this stage of life a little bit more. And then it's like, okay, like no, we're parents now.
It goes
Cool.
back to what Colin said. It's a positive restraint. Like you think those trips are that important to get. And no doubt trips are fun. But like I think we can all agree the joy that a child brings to you.
It surpasses any other monetary gain that you could think or trip anything. It just surpasses.
Jags going to the Super Bowl. That'd be close. But no, I think I do, bro. I do.
Margot being in this world has, for whatever reason, it's like the timing of when she was born has perfectly synced to when the Lions are now relevant. So, yes,
Yeah.
you are making the Lions.
Wait, hold on. So Margot hasn't even. This is a crazy thought for a Lions fan. She has not had a year of her life where the Lions have had a losing record.
Isn't that kind of annoying for like a diehard Lions fan?
It's really annoying.
Well, Callie,
She needs to put in her time.
the Jags transitioned Callie into Jags fandom very, very cleanly. But I agree with your. I like both of those sentiments about your dad saying like I'm a planner too. There is no planning it, and also taking that pressure off of am I ready to do this? I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. If you care about your wife, about being a good dad, about your child, you will figure it out. It may not be pretty, but as long as your intentions are pure, you will be a great dad and a great husband. It's just that, like, don't add that stress to the responsibility chart of being a father. Of like, am I gonna? Because I mean, we'll get to my similar thoughts to Colin as well. Like, that's a huge thing about it too. Like this overwhelming feeling of, am I ready? Like, it doesn't matter. Your child will make you ready. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So,
Like that's dude, that's my God. Like that's everybody needs to hear that. Like your child will make you ready. Like that's one of the amazing things.
Whether
about
you want to be or not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Quote it. We'll put that on our first t-shirt launch.
Hey, clip it. Child will make you ready.
So, Will, what was the experience for you in finding out? What did Aaron do?
So it was Cinco de Mayo 2 years ago. So we just came up on that Aaron found out. Or yes. So it was Friday night. She had, I think Kenzie and Ebony came to the townhouse to visit. We had just gotten back from our honeymoon probably a week or two prior. No, this isn't making sense. But no, our honeymoon was early. Yes, it was early. She found out very early. We'll get to that. Our honeymoon was early April. And so it was probably a month after we got back from the honeymoon. And she had friends over, everything kind of similar to Kelsey. Erin started feeling really weird at the house. And she had been looking at her app that I guess similar to what Leah had. And when she was like typically ovulating, she was not ovulating anymore, if that makes sense. So she was kind of on high alert and high senses. Anyway, I'm downstairs hanging. So apparently she had gone upstairs to change or whatever, and she took a test and it came back positive, and she was like, no way. Like, I have friends over, like, we're hanging out, everything. So she takes another test, and kind of similar to Kelsey, she had like cheap tests, and then she had like, here's an expensive test in case I need like a final decision maker. And so she took either a second or a third test, came back kind of iffy. She sent it to her medical friends or whatever, and they were like, no, like, you're pregnant. And first she was like, this is so early, whatever. So she came back downstairs and didn't say anything, like tried to act completely normal. And I really didn't pick up on anything. I thought she was just tired. Like, she was acting, I guess, similar to Leah, where just no talking. So I thought like I had done something, like maybe she was frustrated with me, but whatever. So the next day it was my buddy Houston had a jiu-jitsu tournament in Orlando, and we had to be there early in the morning. So she finds out. What's up?
I remember that.
Yeah. So she finds out Friday night, and she doesn't tell me because she's like not ready to, also wanting to go take a test the next day to like make sure. And I leave in the morning and I'm gone all day. But Erin takes more tests, pregnant, like again, and it happens to be a big UFC pay-per-view. And Houston's a big fight fan. Corey was with us, big fight fan. We were at jiu-jitsu all day, so we're like warmed up to like care about UFC. So we're at a hotel probably like 45 minutes from the house where he was staying for the tournament, and we're watching the pay-per-view, and it's like one of those pay-per-views that starts at 10 and goes way longer than it should. And it's like 30, and Aaron's like, babe, I thought you said you were going to come home. And I'm like, babe, I am. I just are getting to the co-main event, the main event. And Aaron was like, you're going to stay there. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then we watch one more fight. Now it's like 1:45 in the morning. And I'm like, babe, I'm so tired. Can I please stay here? Like, and she's like, no, like, you always do this. Like, and Aaron, I make a lot of jokes about Aaron, but like, Aaron is not like, she's not usually, we banter a lot is the best way to put it. We love to like pick at each other and joke, but she was being like over the top. And I was like, babe, like, chill out. I just want to sleep. It's 2:00 in the morning. I'll be back in the morning. And she was like, no, you always do this. You always leave me. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, babe, I'm with my buddies. We're just watching the fight. She was being just really, and I was like, all right, guys, like, I'm going to have to leave. Like, I'm going to head out. And they're like, bro, it's like 2
She was almost like intentionally trying to make it like
Yes.
a fight. Like, we're going to be arguing about this, so I have to go home and fix this.
Yeah, I was like, babe, you're not even gonna be awake when I come home. She was like, yes, I will. Like, babe, you fall asleep at 10 p.m. every night. What are you doing up at 2 a.m.? I didn't know if she thought I was like not where I set up. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so weird. But part of me was like, I don't know if she just, I felt like maybe she'd feel some type of way about where I'm at. I need to go home. So I leave at like 1:45, 2 a.m. to go home, and I'm watching the fights in the car. And
Pissed.
dude, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pissed. I'm like, the fuck? I'm tired of shit. I'm like, I just wanna sleep. Anyway, so I
I
pulled
wanted
in
to
the
see this
driveway.
Roundhouse kick on my phone. I wanted to see it on a 70-inch screen TV.
Yeah. So I pull up. This is funny though, and I feel bad I did this to her, but so I get home at like 2:40 in the morning, and it's in like,
Oh, it was that far of a drive?
yeah, it was like 45 minutes.
Oh, geez.
And it's going into the third round of the championship fight was Henry Cejudo versus, it's when he fought for the belt when he came back. Who did he fight?
Really? No.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes. So it was going into round 3. Yes, it just ended round 3. And I pull up in the driveway and I'm like, Aaron's probably asleep. I don't want to wake the dogs up. I just watched the fights in my truck. Dude, I'm sitting and then I'm watching the post show.
Dude, and this is when, because you and I were deep into UFC. Like, I'm still love the UFC. I was just watching the fights this past Saturday, but like when we were obsessed,
Yeah. So like you watch every fight card, you watch every
dude. Like every Saturday night fight, even if it wasn't a pay-per-view, I was watching, like putting bets. Yeah.
So I watched the remaining 2 rounds and then I'm like, it's 3 a.m. She's sleeping. I don't want to go inside and get yelled at anyway if she's awake. So I'm just watching a post show and like going through Instagram and I'm like looking at what people are saying about the fights. Anyway, I'm finally like, I'm going to sleep. So I'm like, all right, I'll go inside. I sneak upstairs with the dogs. I don't wake them up. And I'm going upstairs and I see the light on in our room under the door. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucked. I'm like, and I'm like, oh shit, she's been watching me because our security cameras alert you. And so she knows I've been home since like 2:45 and I stayed there for another 30 minutes in the driveway. And I open the door like so quietly and I'm just ready for an absolute verbal beating. And I walk in and there's baby shit on the bed. And I'm like, what? So at this time, Kenzie is staying at the house with her son, who's a year old. And I like walk in the room and I'm like, why is Xander shit on our bed?
Yeah.
I'm like looking and then I look at her and she's videotaping me and I'm like, is she about to videotape like absolutely destroying me?
She went live to just verbally assault you.
We're recording this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And all of a sudden I'm looking at her and looking at the bed and I'm like, it says baby and then it says like she made Erin used to it still does, but she used to more make like cricket. She made like a baby Tillo and I saw that and I was like, no. And she was like, yeah, and I'm like, no way, like, oh my God. And it was kind of just like I think similar to like what our stories sound like. There was no bone in my body that thought Erin was going to be pregnant anytime soon, let alone I had done that before where I was like, said I'd be home at 10 p.m. and I show up at 12:30 because they're having fun with the guys. I was just all in my head. I'm thinking, holy shit, the light is on in the bedroom at 3 a.m. I am going to get destroyed right now. And so when that happened and I found out, like, obviously hugged, like emotions, whatever. And I just remember being so excited, but then very similar to Colin, I hit this moment where I'm at the edge of the bed and like all the stuff is on the bed and I'm just sitting there like holding the baby clothes. And it was just a fear, like it was hitting me and I'm running through my head. All I started envisioning was being a dad and the baby being here. And I was so worried about being a good dad. Like that's the immediate stress I had was I'm sitting there running through things that I had no business running through in my head. You know, like I can't explain it. It was like my head was a slot machine and, you know, I like to gamble, but it was like a slot machine of different scenarios and different things that I was starting to already stress myself out about. And I don't know exactly why, like my head went there and like Erin was like, are you like happy? And I'm like, no, babe, I am. Like, I was like slow crying, you know what I mean? Like I was sitting there like almost like pregame, like when you're just in your thoughts and you're just running through. It was just a very surreal moment, but it was obviously the most exciting thing ever. But I think for a good 10-15 minutes, I sat at the end of the bed just holding the clothes and just thinking like, holy shit, am I ready to do this? Like, am I going to be a good dad? What do I, you know, I can't even put into words exactly what I was thinking, but you guys don't understand what I was thinking. But yeah, that was it. And then
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's like, I honestly think that's part of it. It's not, so none of us, as we've recounted these stories, have actually been able to adequately
describe
what we were thinking. And I think that's actually the point, is that there just aren't words. It's one of those moments, I'd call it a holy moment, that when you encounter it, it brings you to silence. Like that's the effect that it has on you. There are no words, don't do anything at that point. And so there is no way to describe it other than it's just something that brings you to silence.
Yeah, it's like supernatural.
Yeah.
There's like a new purpose that's been put on your life that you're immediately stepping into that I think great fathers take very seriously. I'm stepping into this calling out to be a dad, and I take this really seriously, and I know what comes with that, and I know the responsibility and the accountability and the joy and everything that you're just like, all right, like you said, it was like that game. It's like you have your game face on. You're just like, all right, like, okay, yeah, we're doing this. Yeah, I'm ready. Like, okay, I don't know I don't know like what it's gonna look like, or like it's like a game. It's like you're getting ready for like a football game. You're like, all right, like I'm about to go on the field, and we're gonna go at it. Yeah.
And that's why I think it was so on point what you said about your baby will make you ready. I mean, perhaps it's not the best illustration in the world, but just like in a game, like in a football game or whatever sport you play, I mean, whatever, a performance, that event is coming and you have no say in that. It's just, it's coming and you have to deal with the fact that it's happening. And I mean, just like most athletes, you want to be playing in the game. So it's a good thing that it's coming, but that thing and or like the kid, it just has this authority over you if you cooperate with that. There's obviously a part of like you have to, but this baby that's not even born yet, right, just already has this authority over you. It's just awesome. It's so humbling, but it's like you need that. You need to be humbled like that. And it's just it's amazing that a little baby can do that to you.
You made me think of something of why, because we're sitting here we've been able to formulate some things, but like you said, it's almost hard to describe. I feel like being a parent and mentally preparing yourself to be a parent is different than anything in life, because think of this, like think of when you want to become good at running, you run more, you research, you stretch, you prepare, you want to get stronger, you lift, you want to get things done around the house, you make a list, you carve out time to do it, right? Being a good parent, there isn't like, do this, do that. Being a good dad, like there for your child, there is no like step-by-step process to achieve that. And it's an ever evolving every day for your kid that's evolving every day, but you're also evolving every day. I feel that I change tonight, for example. I've been really stressed out with work and I'm trying to I do the roller coaster. I prioritize family, myself over work. And then I dip down to prioritizing work over my family and myself, like being less attentive with Aaron, helping less around the house, not playing with Callie as much on the ground, just doing nothing. You know what I mean? Those little things. And I was putting her to bed tonight before the podcast, and I'm sitting there reading her book and she's reading it. I think it was like 8:00 that I started reading, and usually she reads for 5 minutes, and she read 5 minutes and she was still housing through these pages and like, like all that. And dude, then she did it for another 10 minutes. And this is like not normal. And I'm sitting there looking at the clock, like I wanted to shower. I got 8:30 podcast, and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden it like flips to me and it goes like, you just like earlier today, I told Aaron, I was like, I'm sliding back into the depth I got back into Star Wars. I said, I'm literally sliding back into the dark side. And I'm like, I need to, but I don't know where that reset comes, because like the responsibilities of work and our schedules, we got a wedding later this week. And she's like, I know, just try to chill out, like find, where you can, blah, blah, blah. And sitting there in that chair, that was my moment again.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going like, the podcast, I need to shower. Oh, I didn't get this done. And I'm sitting there with my daughter having the time of her life, reading the book she's read 1,400 times. It was like, this is it. This is what I want to be doing. Right. But like,
That's the reset you needed that you didn't know you needed.
Right. And guess what? Callie did that for me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm a grown ass man that makes a lot of good decisions and kind of controls my life. But yet my daughter just controlled, like she directed me to where I wanted to go. And all because she decided to read her book for 20 minutes that she never does. And I'm sitting there with her, and she just at one point, like, I was like, all right, are you like gonna get tired? She like looks back at me and just stares at me. And I'm like, I love you. And then she goes back to reading her book. And it was almost like she looked back like, no, you're not done yet. Like you don't need to go do anything else. You don't need to like, even though I did it, like, that's why I said I was going to be a little late, because like once I got done with that, I just had to get a couple things ready before that. But that's why I think parenting is so unique, because it really, you can do your best to, and I think it's important to do that, to always reflect and make decisions and do things that you can be a better husband, be a better father. But at the end of the day, your kids will depict your journey as well. And no, I think that was just a a tidbit I wanted to say, because I really have been, you guys know me long enough. I go through this, like, I care about work, and then F work. I'm going to focus on myself and my family and not stress myself out. And then there'll be times where I'm like, oh, dude, work's crazy. I have nothing else. I cannot possibly do anything else. I can't eat. I have to answer these emails and do this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's unique how a baby who can't even really talk yet or say anything to me, just her reading her book longer and like looking at me, just like flip that for me. This is where I need to be. And this is what's important. And it kind of like set me up for this podcast, I'll be honest. And not that I didn't want to do it, but in my head, it was just another item on the to-do list. And that's not true, because when we talked about starting this, it was about doing this for ourselves, for our friendships, to talk about the things that we all go through as dads and as husbands. And like, this is therapy. It really is. Like, and because talking to you guys is way more rewarding and fulfilling than me putting in projects and designs and answering emails that don't need to be, that the person I'm answering tonight won't look at it till fucking Thursday. You know what I mean? And so it just kind of grounded me again to be like, this is why we started this in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's also why like having a kid is such a blessing. It's a restraint because like I could have been doing so many other things, but it's the best restraint I could possibly have when I needed it. If that,
Yeah.
that was my tangent.
Well, we talked
said.
about this. I think I've talked to separately each of you about this, but this idea of balance is, or balancing life is just, it's like,
Horseshit.
it's not real. Like there are times where you're gonna have to dive a little bit deeper into work, and then there are times when you're gonna have to prioritize your family a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then there are times when, you know what, you really need to be, for the betterment of your family, you need to prioritize yourself. I think that that's normal. Like what you went through with, or what you go through, is like a normal thing, because I do that sometimes too, where I'm like, all right, I'm kind of slipping away maybe physically, or I'm not prioritizing my health the way I should, and it's starting to play a negative role in other areas of my life. So I need to get back into the swing of things, or I'm spending too much time on work and missing out on these moments where I could be spending time with Leah or a daughter or friends or doing things like this because I'm so prioritized or so focused on work. I was just talking to Leah about this last week. I said, you know, because we're thinking about Margot just turned 2, and I'm like, you know, one of the best things about looking back at Margot's last 2 years of life is that I've been present. I think there's a lot of dads that, looking back at the younger years for their kids, like they just gave all of it to work or for different things, and they're like, I wish I would have had those years back. And I'm like, man, I feel really good about the fact I've been really present. I've been really involved. I've been able to enjoy these 2 years. Yeah.
I agree with you there, because I think all of us in our own ways have the flexibility to be more present. Colin and Kelsey, you guys spend a lot of time together. And also you have your schedule's down packed to where I feel like you are home a lot. There's days where you're like, you know, I'm with Eden more, letting Kelsey go do her thing. Wes, your job as well. Like you work remote too. I work remote, and I agree with you too, because like these years are hard. These are the hard, I mean, every stage is hard. Don't get me wrong, but like a baby, the first couple of years first few years, handful of years of life are very difficult on everybody, emotionally, physically. And I think you're right. It is a blessing that I have the ability to, you know, I travel, but I work from home. And Erin always says, I get stressed, I work downstairs in the kitchen. And like every time I have a call, I run out to the patio or I run out wherever. And she's like, go work in the office. I don't like to work in the office because I feel like I'm not here, if that makes sense. I like to work in chaos, which is terrible for me that has like ADHD and I'm like all over the place. But I love like hearing Callie, or like she runs up to my leg or whatever. Like, there are times I have to go to the office, but I enjoy being down in the chaos because I feel like I'm here with them, you know? And they really are like moments that I don't want to, you know, Papa Murph you know, he used to leave the house first thing in the morning. He wouldn't get back till 7 p.m. because taking the train to work, working in the city, finance was a very demanding, and also careers were much different back in the day. That's like what you did.
Yeah.
But when you think about that, every time he mentions something like that, I think like, Jesus, I'm so lucky. He makes a joke still, but in the beginning years of Erin's life, when he would get home and like try to hang out with Erin and talk, she would be like, where's mom? Like she would say that because she wasn't used to him being there in the very beginning so much. I'm very lucky, and I feel lucky that all of us, I do feel, spend a lot of time with our wives and also with our kids that a lot of guys don't have the ability to. That's super important. But I agree. I'm balancing. There's no such thing. I suck at it. I've really told Aaron, like, I had a really good breakthrough personally, I would say, with all this. And I just said, Aaron, I need you to be, and I was joking when we got on the call, but like, I need you to be like rude about it. I need you to be like, you're not present. You're not, because I get so engulfed in the things I'm doing. I need that accountability, if that makes sense. I feel like I hold myself accountable, but I can get sucked in pretty quick. So it's a tough, it's a forever battle, I guess you can say, to do it, but
Yeah.
we're doing
I
it.
think that's probably key, is just like recognizing that no matter what season of life you're in, or like what stage of life of your kid that you're experiencing, the challenges are never going to go away. There's going to be different challenges at each
Right.
turn, you know,
They
and
just
so
look
it's
different.
yeah, and it's just, you know, time after time, just becoming more resilient in how you learn to cope with and deal with and work through each, you know, challenge, which is obviously much easier said than done. But so much of it, I think, especially early on in a kid's life, it seems, you know, for us who are at a little over 1.5, and 2 years into parenting, I mean, I think just so much can be helped by showing up, you know, and being present, like you guys are saying. And, you know, I mean, part of me kind of feels almost like indebted to the generation or two that went before us, you know, our parents and before, who, yeah, I mean, like, life was different. Like, I think, you know, it typically was assumed for a man that, like, you go to work for the whole day, and, you know, being present to your family may have kind of been like a luxury, you
Yeah.
know?
Like not
And
possible.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I don't, you know, I definitely don't ever want to fault a dad, especially like those in the generations before us, who, like, that just kind of was the norm. I feel like the fact that we're even aware that being present to your kid, to your family, is a good thing, you know, like that's just honestly like a gift that we've been given, because there are people before us who kind of had to discover that, like, maybe working 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day isn't actually the most healthy thing in the world, you know, and we benefit from that realization now, you know.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't like remote jobs and like just
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
different too. Like being present back then wasn't the same as being present today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being present back then might have been like, I get dinner with my kids when I
Yeah.
come
You
home.
shut it off.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got to have a bowl of cereal with my kid before they went to school, like
Yeah.
every morning type of thing, because I was gone for 12 hours each day. Or my version of being present was providing for my family, which means I had
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
work 60 hours a week. And so even though I wasn't physically present, I was present, and that I'm providing them, you know, a lifestyle where they can.
You know, I think it's all relative. I just saw a commencement speech by Nick Saban. I don't know how I got there, but he was saying, don't worry about being the best worker, best team, or best this. He's like, worry about being the best you can be. And I think it's relative to back then. You know, people's jobs, careers, fatherhood, motherhood all look different. But if, like, you're just striving to be the best you can in your specific situation, then that's all you can do. And I think that's the biggest part to it. Colin and I, a little more fearful, I would say, of like, what is this going to look like? But at the end of the day, all we can do is the best we can do. And I think I just keep telling myself that. And it's also humbling, because then when you do think that, like, it kind of checks you, like, are you doing the best you can, you know, when you look in the mirror and say that. So I try to think that way too. And especially, like, I would say one thing I've noticed a lot too is, since Aaron, like, just recently stopped working, it's impossible to have your mind straight after you hear that he's still alive. But I thought it would take a lot of load off, and it has 100%. But it's also, like, shown me again just how much she does.
Yeah.
So then at the end of the day, when, like, I'm exhausted from working and I just want to chill out or do something, but it's a daily reminder that, like, if I do that, then Aaron can't. And Aaron's been doing that all day. So it's ever changing. Before, when she worked, it was different, but now I do feel bad. Like, I'll even apologize, I'll be like, hey, I'm really sorry. Like, I didn't help you at all today. Like, not even a smidge. And, like, I could have, but, like, I think that's good for me, because I feel like if at least I'm doing that, then I'm thinking about it, because, like, I'm not going to be great all the time. It's just not possible. But I just try to always remind myself to look for those things, and to be thinking about it. But yeah.
I think the one takeaway that I would hope every listener gets out of the main kind of topic that we've been discussing for the last 20 minutes is that you're never going to be the perfect father, but it's through all of the learnings and the mistakes and failures that ultimately give you opportunities to improve. And I think each of us have shared different examples where we like had to take a step back and like have some self-awareness, or at least be like, all right, like how can I do a better job here? How can I how can I reset my life, or how can I reprioritize things, or where am I maybe missing the mark with my family, or being a husband, or being a dad? I think that's like one of the more important things that I've recognized over like the last couple of years, is that the best thing that I can do for my kid is just to have self-awareness of where I can be better, because I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not gonna always be like the best dad. Same thing with Leah and my relationship, just being able to be like, all right, like you've said multiple times, Will, I realize that I haven't been present like I should. It's like so many people don't even do that analysis of their time and their effort and things like it. They don't look themselves in the mirror and say, all right, could I have been a better dad here? Could I have been a better husband here? They like just continue to just let life get the best of them and just get into this routine of just doing things. And before you know it, it's like, oh man, I just spent like 10 years. I never once looked back and thought to myself, how could I have been better in this area? I don't know if I'm making sense.
No,
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
are.
yeah, you are, and I would also even kind of add to that too, is like also doing your best to understand where that better is even coming from. So like, like Will just mentioned a little bit ago, kind of like being the best version of you, which
Yeah.
is, obviously an overused cliche, but there's a lot of truth to
Oh,
it
sorry.
too. No, no, no. I mean, like that, we
I
hear
know
that
you
all the
meant.
time, and
I know
it
you
can
meant.
be used it can get overused, but there is a lot of truth to it in that, like, a lot of times I'm so susceptible to this. Like I find myself frequently comparing myself to others, or like I fall prey to comparison quite a bit. And so like if we have these roles that we think we're supposed to fill as fathers or wives or parents, friends, whatever, like we're inevitably just not going to measure up
Yeah, you're
to
not going to
those
hit the
roles.
mark.
Or we're gonna kill ourselves trying to fit a role. And it's like, I mean, but the thing is, like, the paradox of it all is like, obviously there is no perfect parent, but then on top of that, your kid doesn't even need you to be a perfect parent.
Yeah.
Like, it consistently blows me away, like whether it's when I come home or just when Eden wakes up in the morning, or like when she just runs up to me and she points to me and says dada, or whatever. Like, it's not just that I mean, well, okay, like sometimes she might just be saying dada, like it might mean nothing more than just a word. But I also think that sometimes like she's acknowledging something deeper than that, like she's recognizing, like, that is my daddy. Like, and there's more to that than just the fact that I'm her biological father. It's like, this man right here is everything I need for the father role in my life. I don't need a different dad. I don't need anything to do anything better. He's just him, who he is. That's my
Just
daddy.
being there in that moment is what she
Yeah, like,
needed to.
your kid doesn't need you to fit a role. Like, your kid just needs you to be you. So as long as the better is you, that you're kind of working to improve, that's, I think that's all fine. But yeah, like, our kids don't need us to fit roles.
Yeah.
I agree, because they're not thinking about this.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. That's a great point.
Even the example of gifts. So Margot's second birthday, Colin, you were there.
Mhm.
She got all these gifts, all and we love it. Like it's awesome. Like we clothes and toys, all that. You know what thing she played with the most, that she was like the most enamored with, was a card that Leah's aunt got her that played the Bluey theme song.
Yeah.
Something that costs like $3. That was the thing that she kept wanting to play and open with, and that she kept wanting to show people. And it's like, the simplest of things can have the biggest impact and bring them sometimes more joy than these big measures or these things where you think like, oh well, I need to get them this, or I want to buy them that, or they need the best of this. It's like, no,
Yeah.
they really don't. They really don't. All that stuff is great, but you should show them 10 toys that you just bought them, and then you have a freaking empty bottle like this, and they're going to want this, and they're going to be playing with this thing for an hour.
Isn't that funny? That kind of ties into what Colin said about how kids are so, like, they're just pure, right?
Right.
Like, personally, I thought being the best or making more money is going to bring me happiness.
Mhm.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And it's those things. Find your water bottle. Like Margot, find your card. Whether that's, whether that's watching a movie with your wife, or, playing outside with your daughter, or just playing with her while she funnels around with her stuff in the living room. Find your little birthday card that sings the Bluey song, right? In life. And I think the older you get and the more responsibilities you get, you put a label on what you deem is going to bring that happiness, and you overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
You overcomplicate it where a kid doesn't see how much a gift was or what it is or where it came from or this. All they care about is how it makes them feel. And I think that's one thing that, Colin, when you said it, when you get home and Eden says Dada, or she's just elated to, you could have the worst day in the world and come home and Eden was like Dada and like wants to, just is so excited to see you and brings you over to like her toys, or she brings you a toy, or and Wes, you and Leah stress yourselves out to, and I don't care if you say you were, stress yourselves out to make it an awesome party and beautiful and organized and everything, when Margot was just excited to be there with you guys and like have a card that sang the Bluey song, and I think it's little things that is just so important with kids. Is like, we will sit here and overcomplicate this shit, and everyone will, but to both of your guys' points, it's kids will ground you and show you what really matters, and also show you how to be the dad that you're meant to be. You just have to be willing to listen and see it.
Well said. Should we wrap it up there, guys?
I'll say this. I hope that this episode is something that future parents, new parents are able to connect with, and along with laughing and being able to relate to different stories, also be somewhat of an encouragement to the responsibility that being a dad entails, and the fact that we're all just trying to figure this out. I just wanted to add that on there because I think there's a lot of things that we talked about that got deeper. So I'm hoping that was encouraging.
Hope you guys enjoyed listening to how we found out that we were going to be dads, kind of our initial feelings of what that would entail, whether it be being a husband to our wives or being a father to our kids. I think it's a very unique and evolving experience that it was for all of us. And we want to hear if you guys have specific questions around that experience or deeper into what we talked about. We want it to be something that we discussed throughout this pod. I think that was kind of the entrance to that part of our lives, but it's something that will probably be talked about frequently on this podcast. So hope you guys enjoyed listening to it and could pull one or two things from it today that maybe make you think, if you're a young parent or soon to be parent, something to just keep in mind.
And if you haven't already, make sure to follow the show on Spotify, follow us on YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, comment, subscribe, all that. Wes, do you want to sign us off with the Three Dads in a Pod theme song?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can sing.
Three dads in a pod. So tired, dude.
That's great.
Thank you.